Hey, what's up guys? It's your boy Speed here, and today I'm gonna quickly show you how to become broken as Earthshaker. This is a hero that is very popular during TI and didn't get nerfed that hard. I will say, in the recent patch, they did remove it where you can't do attack damage with Fade Grenade. And if you weren't familiar, what people were abusing is they would enchant Totem, and then the Fade Grenade active would basically let you have 2 enchant Totem hits in a row. It was pretty broken, but I still believe Offlane Earthshaker is very strong. I played it myself today. It felt great. I won my games, and so let's break it down. Also, before we get into the video, I just want to let you guys know that I've been streaming almost every other day. My computer's been crashing a little bit, which has been a bit shitty, but nonetheless, in the description, go follow my stream. I'd love to see you guys there. We have very interactive streams where I do coaching, play pubs, we do in-houses. It's a lot of fun, and yeah. Go click the link down below. Yeah, it's great fun, so I hope to see you guys there. By the way, guys, if you want to become absolutely broken, well, what you need to do is sign up to the GameLeap website down below right now. The reason why you should do that is because every single day we post a new video there. Content that you simply just will never get on YouTube, we post every single day to the website. It's really top tier stuff. I'm very proud of what I make over there. We also have other creators, many of my great friends who are top tier Dota players, creating guides about different heroes, different roles, different items, skill builds, talent builds, everything you need to know to get to the next rank. So if you feel a little bit lost, you're a little bit stuck, click the link down below. I'll see you guys there. And now let's get into the video. All right, now in terms of items, this guy's items are mad weird. This is old 11. I'm sure you guys are familiar. But he has Bassy Quelling. Now, the only time I would ever recommend a build like this is if you're going to be specifically playing mega defensive. Now, to be fair, he's laning with Weaver, which is a hero that doesn't do that much at level 1, against a Void and a Jakiro, both pretty strong level 1 heroes. As a result, you can immediately see he's taking a defensive approach to the lane. This, right in and of itself, is a clear sign of why he's high MMR. On top of that, if the lane is very easy, let's say, for instance, you have a Lion 4, the enemy team has an AA5, and their carry is a PA, and you think you can easily lane, then you can take Enchant Totem and just deny creeps, and that will come into play later on. But basically the gist in the laning stage is use Enchant Totem to get denies, use Fisher to secure range creeps, and then get last hits and get blink. But yeah, as you can see here, he doesn't even go for the Bounty Runes, and I recommend if your lane is this bad, you can go for these exact items and play this way. You can also go for a bit of a different variation in items. The other variation that I recommend is 1 set of tangos, 2 branches, a gauntlet, a quelling blade, and 2 mangoes. Alright, next up at level 2, just take Enchanta. I have no idea why old 11 decides to take Aftershock. Honestly, I think it's horrible. It does let you secure the range creep from like half HP, which is cool. But other than that, I don't like it. The reason why is this range creep isn't deny range. Essentially, for 35 mana, you just click and deny every creep. Literally, I was playing against, I think it was I was playing against a PL, and I had like 6 denies out of the first 8 creeps. It was pretty funny. Now, in terms of skill build, at level 3, you want to be 1-1-1, and at level 4, you want to be 1-1-2. Basically, you don't need to take other points in your W or your E. I will say if the lane is really easy, sometimes you can take a second point in Enchant Totem and just harass. But for the most part, I prefer to just keep it at level 1 and focus on my CS and my denies. Like, I think what a lot of people do wrong on Shaker as an offlaner is to be like, oh my god, you know, I hit so hard with Enchant Totem. Harass. But the thing is, you can just easily dominate on creep score, and then the harass just doesn't even matter. Next up, in terms of items, what you always want to go is Boots, Belt of Strength, because your Enchant Totem is based off your base damage, so you want as much strength as possible. A lot of people be like, oh my god, Speed, I should buy a Dessel, right? So I can do a lot. No! You want strength. To be fair, crit is pretty good, but in general, you just want strength, especially for the laning stage. And so you buy a Belt of Strength. After a Belt of Strength, you're generally going to go Treads, and from there, you just go Blink Dagger. Also, just to keep this in mind, guys, most people go Soul Ring. It's just more strength. He obviously went for this Bassy plus Fisher playstyle this game, which I think was pretty legit, but in general, what most people are going is Soul Ring into Blink Dagger. And what's really fun about Earthshaker is when you hit this level 6 timing, most people can't lane against you. Like, the reality is Echo Slam is one of the highest damage spells, which is not too surprising at level 6. It just is. And so what you want to do not be greedy with it. If you can get a solo kill on the Void, the Jakiro, it doesn't matter, just get the kills. In this clip here, he ends up making a sick outplay onto the Void. Void clearly didn't think he could die to this, but joke's on him. This is how much damage this combo does. Obviously, he actually really needed the follow from the Nyx, otherwise Void would have gotten away. But you can imagine, if Void is even chipped down at all, right? Like, Void is full HP, That's a pretty tanky hero. yeah, you just easily solo kill people in creep waves, so keep that in mind. Alright, next up I just want to mention that he is going a very unorthodox build this game. He's maxing Fisher. I think the main reason why he's doing this is because it does allow you to actually kill creep waves very quickly and farm stacks, and that's exactly what he's doing. Also, another thing that he does that's a little bit weird, but something that you guys should consider, is gank. Yeah, I know that might be like, what? Gank? Yeah, well, the thing is, Earthshaker, when you buy treads, it's pretty hard to, like, have impact. All of your spells are practically melee range, obviously besides Fisher. The rest of your impact requires you to get on top of people, and you don't have a mobility item. Like, even your boots are not the mobility boots, and so, essentially, it's very hard to close the gap. Therefore, in a lot of fights early on, it's hard to actually have impact. Luckily for him, as he rotated in here, he was able to find the Monkey King on a tree. Otherwise, the classic Earthshaker TP would have taken place, which is TP in, enemy team is like, oh shit, Echo Slam guy, and then they run away. So just try not to fall into that trap. Instead, stay in your lane, farm your Blink Dagger, keep your game simple, get the Blink, and then buy a smoke, and then make a play. This is not the type of rotation I like, especially when a wave is pushing into his tower. I generally disagree with these type of plays. I don't think they're good. Did this one work out? I would say, sort of. Honestly, shoving the wave would have given about the same amount of gold, but to be fair, it's a little bit more XP and definitely good for his Weaver. Alright, now when it comes to early game team fights, obviously option number one, most optimal option, hit a 4-5 man Shad Echo and kill everybody at the same time. But in general, what I want you guys to strive for in team fights in general is about 2-man Echoes. Generally, regardless of who it is, a 2-man Echo will often lead to just 2 kills. Most of the time, unless your chain stun gets cancelled, you will be able to secure both of the kills and they'll get nothing off. However, if that's not an option, the second best option is just solo echoing big kills. All throughout the game, if you can ever kill the mid laner or safe laner with an echo, just do it. It's gonna get you towards your BKB in later timings so much faster. I think the problem with like people playing heroes like Earthshaker as an offlaner is they look at him and they're like, I have to win every team fight. Like, I'm not the scaling guy, right? I'm the offlaner. I need to just win the team fights and hit huge echo. No, you don't. You scale. Like, guys, this hero scales really well. Its talents are really good. It just naturally scales because of Enchant Totem. Echo Slam scales fine. Like, it scales. And so in this clip here, it plays it kind of weird. Like, he walks in, and he actually just straight up blinks onto this Lesh and solo echoes him. Secures the kill. Do I think that was the best execution? No, honestly, I think his team would have killed the Lesh anyway. But overall, you get the gist, and it's totally okay to do that. Like, that's going to push him towards his BKB much faster. It's just a good kill onto the Lesh. It ends the fight quickly and allows them to move on. Alright, next up, let's talk about why BKB. Why BKB? Well, number one, it's actually a decent damage item on Shaker. It gives you 34 damage. Number two, it prevents you from getting your chain stun interrupted when you initiate. And when you're playing offlaner Shaker, you very often have to go in first. In this game, to be fair, he does have a Nyx Assassin, so that doesn't really have to be the case this game. He probably could go a greedier item build, but 9 out of 10 times, you're not really going to be able to use Enchant Totem if you don't go BKB. That's just the reality. You could go Force Staff. I personally like going Force Staff. It's a good option. It's a much earlier timing than the BKB, but this is much safer, and it's going to let your Echoes be a lot more dominant in the team fights. You can guarantee that you get the full chain stun off. Next, let's talk about how to solo kill people. When you're trying to solo kill someone, or even when you're going in a team fight and you know a team fight's gonna break out, you should always have an Enchant Totem prepped. Obviously, how Enchant Totem works is the duration is far longer than the cooldown, and as a result, you want to use it early. And so basically, you go in, you pop your W, right? When your W comes back up, you can go for the kill. You lead with Fisher, you hit, then you W, then you hit, and most supports straight up die to it. Alright, the last thing I'd like to cover for today's video is the items you should buy after BKB and the talents. Number one, for the talents, at level 10, you want to take 30 base damage. At level 15, you want to take 50 aftershock damage. At level 20, you want to take Fisher range on average. If the enemy team has a ton of illusions and units, then you should absolutely take the 40 echo damage. However, in a game like this one, to look at the 2 drafts and understand why he would take Fisher range, well, he even bought the shard, so he's really playing around it. But number one, the enemy team has a void, right? So echo damage wouldn't be particularly useful. Instead, when you're playing against something like Spear Breaker, Monkey King, Void, you need to be very far positioned in the back. Even with BKB, you're not safe, right? It's actually quite likely that if he gets jumped, even if he gets his BKB off, he's still going to die. And so he has to play very defensive. He has to play around getting Fisher off. It's even good for canceling charge. And so I like the Fisher range option, but in a lot of team fights, the juicier talent for sure is Echo damage. It's a lot more fun. However, the other talents I don't think are really negotiable. I think Aftershock damage is just kind of insane. It lets you one-shot waves, which is really, really nice. 80 Fisher damage actually also lets you one-shot waves, but skipping 30 base damage just feels horrible to skip, considering with an enchant totem that's 120 damage per hit. With the combo, that's a 240 damage talent essentially every time you use your double hit combo. So it's 3 times the damage when going for solo kills than Fisher damage is, and that's going to be the difference. And so yeah, Aftershock damage, talked about the 20 at 25. Honestly, both these talents are really good. If you have Ags, go Enchant Totem cooldown. If you don't have Ags, go Aftershock range. That is how I would base that. Now, talking about Ags, the next item after BKB, in my opinion, is one of 3 items. It's either Force Staff. Honestly, I like this item. If the enemy team has something like Clockwork, or, you know, you just need to get out of a Monkey King ulti, right? Maybe they have a Monkey King carry, or get away from a Luna. You can buy this item. I actually think it's pretty good. I think it's very underrated, especially on like an offlane shaker. I think people always go into damage. I like it. The other item you can go is Silver Edge. That's really good for playing the side lanes and going for solo kills. So it's a really good pup build, especially if you get ahead and you're having a good game and you just think you can kill people left and right, even without Echo, then Silver Edge is your best bet. And finally, Aghanim Scepter. If the enemy team kind of like lacks lockdown and you can just jump around, it's fantastic. You guys know the Ags. And yeah, that's going to be all for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Smash the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.
And that's all, but remember, before you leave, come on, before you tune out, subscribe to the GameLeap website, where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace.